Yeah, hi there. These comments are for one of my students at California State University, San Bernardino. You're also one of my online TOEFL course students for the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And in your specific situation here, you completed integrated speaking, I think, practice test number 1, and I'm going to go ahead and listen to it right now. So I want to listen to the whole thing once, then I'll go back and listen to it in segments.
According to reading passenger, the advertising affects people from TV and radio now. Then the advertising also can affect people's vote. There are two ways to affect people's vote. The first one is the TV commercials, and another one is the billboards. According to speaking, the advertising affects people economically. When people choose a brand of toothpaste, they always depend on the advertising that they have seen. Whatever advertising is good or bad, it will affect the consumers. In conclusion, the reading passenger and the speaking talk about the advertising affect people's lives on political and economical.
Okay, so let's listen to it one more time. So my first suggestion is, in the beginning, I suggest that you state the topic of both the reading passage and the lecture. So you might do something like this. You might say the reading and the listening passage discuss the political and the economic effects of advertising. So you say that in the beginning, that kind of frames your response. Then you move on to discussing the main points of the reading passage. Then you move to the main points in the listening passage. That's my first suggestion.
According to reading passenger.
And say not passage, but just say passage. 2 syllables, not 3. So according to the reading passage, don't forget to put the article in front of the reading passage.
The advertising affects people from TV and radio now. Then the advertising also can affect people's vote.
I would say, before you get into the details, say advertising affects people's behavior politically, but I think you already said that when we listened to the beginning.
According to reading passenger, the advertising affects people from TV and...
No, I would say the reading passage discusses the political effects of advertising. State more of a generalization first, then you can move to the more specific detail information.
Radio now, then the advertising also can affect people's vote. There are two ways to affect people's vote. The first one...
I like your organization, how you're kind of explaining the information. It's easy to keep track of your ideas.
Is the TV commercials, and another one is the billboards.
And say billboards.
According to speaking, the advertising affects people economically.
See, that was a good topic sentence there. That was a general statement that leads to the more specific detail.
When people choose a brand of toothpaste, they always depend on the advertising that they have seen. Whatever advertising is good or bad, it will affect the consumers.
And then say, according to the speaker, so maybe periodically you want to make sure you're telling your audience where all this information is coming from, and that helps you identify this as a summary.
Conclusion, the reading...
Say, in conclusion.
Passenger and the speaking talk about the advertising affect people's lives.
I would say they talk about how advertising affects people's lives. So that's a language use error. So you need to use a noun clause connector there. That way you help introduce that subject and that verb after the main part of your sentence. So you're essentially creating an independent clause and then a dependent clause by saying the reading and the listening passage discuss how advertising affects people's behavior politically and economically.
On political and economical.
Okay, so I would say politically and economically there. I would use an adverb, not an adjective there. If you say political and economical, then I would say it affects people's behavior in political and economic ways, and that way you could use it that way. All right, so how did you score here? Let's see what we have. So, with delivery, you're having some minor problems with delivery, so I already know that you're working in the pronunciation section of my course to help deal with those problems, so you want to keep working there. You also had some language use issues, as I pointed out, and a topic development suggestion. I suggested that you create an introduction before you get to the points about the reading or the listening passage. That would kind of help organize your ideas. All right, your score here, I'm going to put you at 2.3 out of 4, or 18 points out of 30 on this practice test. Now, if you go to the syllabus to page 9, I'm looking at it right now, so 2.3, it's going to put you at 80% on this assignment. All right, so I think that's it. All right, thank you for completing this. And by the way, in this email thread, I'm going to send you another link to the vocabulary quiz that you need to take sometime today. I know you're not coming into class, but you can take this at home anytime you want. Just make sure you do it today. All right?